Hey guys, welcome to our channel. We are your hosts, Penny and the Flynn. And today we are building one of my favorite architectural styles, Victorian. Although I should clarify, Victorian isn't actually an architectural style, but a time period in history. So the Victorian era was named after Queen Victoria of England. So the Victorian era encompasses many different styles of architecture. And this Victorian era was roughly around 1830 to 1910. So I've actually already built some Victorian era houses, including Gothic Revival and Shingle Style House. So if you want to check those out later, I will leave my architectural spotlight playlist at the end of the video. So if you haven't seen those, you can go check those out too. So more specifically, today we are building a Second Empire style house. So Second Empire style was popular between the 1860s and about 1900. It really depended where you were in the world, whether you were in Europe or the United States. These times varied a little bit, but pretty much set in that late 1800s to about 1900. So I'm sure you've seen many of these style houses before, because in popular culture, some of the houses that you've probably seen are the house from Psycho and the house from the Addams Family. And both of these are Second Empire Victorian style. The Second Empire style originated in France, and it was named after the Second Empire with the reign of Napoleon III. Napoleon III was actually the cousin of Napoleon Bonaparte. So Napoleon III had a decent amount of Paris redone in this style, and that's how it became so popular. So later on in the US, the style also became known as General Grant style, because of the reason being that many of the public buildings that were built during his presidency during the years of 1869 to 1888 were built in this style. So some characteristics of Second Empire. So the biggest characteristic that is going to stand out the most is the mansard roof. Second Empire is also known as the mansard style. So this roof has two slopes. The lower portion is very steeply pitched, and the upper portion is almost flat. The lower portion can have a straight slope, or it can flare out at times. Either it can be concave or convex. And even at times, it can resemble more of an S shape. Mansard roofs derive their name from the architect that made them popular, Francois Mansart. And mansard roofs are not only unique in their looks, but they actually add functionality to the home or to a public building. These roofs allowed space in the attic or the uppermost floor to actually be usable. And then dormer windows were placed within that upper part of the roof to let in light. In this style of architecture, you may also see square towers. And these square towers can be either central, which is typical, or they can be offset. So in this build, I decided to do an offset, kind of asymmetrical, which I feel like there's more asymmetrical style houses done in Second Empire style in the US versus the original, which were in France. Those tend to be a lot more symmetrical. Windows were usually tall and narrow, especially on the first floor. You'll find ornate cornices, decorative brackets, and also wrought iron crusting that is along the upper roof and just above the cornice. So I also did that in this build. The Second Empire style could be made of either wood, stone, or brick. And then there was also two distinguishing kind of styles of ornamentation. So one was a high style and one was a more modest version. So the high style was obviously seen in the homes of wealthy and expensive public buildings. And those were the ones that more tended to be made out of stone and brick. And so there you have it, the characteristics of a Second Empire style of building. So another Victorian era house that I can add to the collection. And you know I will be completing the rest of those. I've just been kind of going with inspiration that's just been striking me lately, so I'm not necessarily going in order, but I will finish all the rest of the styles in the Victorian era. You can count on that. As you saw on the exterior, I went with all white with obviously that black roof. I think a lot of people think of this style as being kind of creepy and dark, and some houses in this style are all black or very dark, but not all of them are. And I don't know what it is, if it's just because of how they've been portrayed in Hollywood that this style just comes across as creepy, like being in those creepy shows and movies, or if it's that dark, usually dark roof that is just super tall, if that's just menacing looking. I don't know what it is. It's probably more of Hollywood that's kind of turned it into that dark, scary kind of a thought that comes into our head when we see this style. Likewise, I also decided to bring in all that white on the interior. I just wanted to go with that light, bright, and more elegant interior. And I think it's really deserving of having that because these styles were very elaborate and decorative. So I just wanted to represent that on the inside as well. I found decorating this house was a little bit of a challenge for the reason that there is Victorian elements in The Sims 4, but like I said, since there's so many different styles that happened during that era, there's a lot of Queen Anne. So when I go to build a Queen Anne style house, it's going to be a lot easier. There's that little bit of Gothic revival, which, like I said in my last video, that made it a little easier for that. But it's just, yeah, the furniture I find is a lot of Queen Anne, and I wouldn't necessarily classify this furniture as Queen Anne. I think this is, it's a little bit more French, which goes with the French aspect of Second Empire. But yeah, I found it a little bit challenging. So I did the best that I could with what I had in the game. There is a decent amount for this era of architectural features in The Sims 4 and furniture options, so I shouldn't complain too much. I made it work. A lot of items that I ended up using in this build are from Strangerville and Vampires for the reason of those packs having a lot of Victorian elements. So now changing the topic a little bit, still on the topic of Sims, but I'm sure most of you have already heard the day that I'm recording this, The Sims announced that we're getting a new kit that is focused and centered around plants. And it's like blooming rooms or something, I think it's called. So what do you guys think about that? So a $5 kit of a lot of plant stuff. So I'm not a huge fan of the kits. I don't like the idea of $5 for not a ton of content. But for me as a builder, I know I'm gonna end up getting this kit because we really need some more plants in the game. Like, okay, this plant I'm using here is base game, and that one's decent, but a lot of the base game plants, the textures are weird, and I'm not a fan of them. So having a whole kit of plants is gonna be awesome for building. I'm actually looking forward to this. I'm sorry if you're offended and you're one of the people that refuses to buy kits. I thought I was that person until this one came along, but to each their own. But I am curious if anyone else is excited about that, if they plan on getting it, if you're not quite sure yet and you kind of want to see what it looks like. Yeah, let me know in the comments what you think. You know, I really like plants in real life, and I wish I could have a lot more plants in my house, but I am not one of those people that has the talent to keep them alive. I think I tend to overwater them, I feel bad for them. I'm like, oh no, you poor thing, you need some more water. And then I think I kill them with love and too much water. I do okay with gardens outside, although this year's garden wasn't the greatest. I don't know if it was disease or drought or I overwatered them again. But yeah, this is the first time I've had issues with my tomatoes outside. My potted plants did actually really well. I have kept my herbs alive now for probably 2 years in pots. So it's decent. But yeah, I have some plants that I don't know. I have a cacti and some succulents, and they're not doing very good. And I think I overwater those. I need to get like some kind of calendar timer that tells me when to water plants. I really need to look into that. I desperately need that because I forget. Even if I don't know, for instance, I watered every Monday, or if it had to be every 2 weeks on a Monday, I'm still not going to remember that. I forget. So I need to look into some kind of like timer or calendar. But like I said, I wish I could have more plants. Maybe I should just get some fake ones, but that's not as nice. Oh, and I have some Boston ferns that I've kept alive now for like 2 to 3 years. So that's pretty good. Those don't need a lot of light, so maybe that's what it is too. We're living in our house. We don't have a lot of natural sunlight that comes in, so that might also be an issue. I need to look into plants that like lots of moisture and don't like a lot of light, and then maybe I'll be okay. Otherwise, if anyone has other suggestions of really easy to take care of plants or some kind of app that would help me with that, you should let me know, because I would like to have more plants. To my credit, one of the plants that's not doing so good for me was not my fault. It was in a really good place, and it was actually getting a good amount of sun, and I think it's technically considered a succulent. But then this guy decides that he wants to chew it up. And he does like spinach, but yeah, I had to move it, and now it's not doing so good. So yeah, thanks Flynn. Okay, you're getting grumpy again. It's always grumpy. Always grumpy when we wanna film, huh? But yeah, you kind of wrecked my plant. I don't know if it's gonna come back from the chewed upness and probably the lack of sunlight, but I keep working on it. I don't give up on the plants until they're obviously completely dead. Alright, so back to the house once again. So I think I have an issue with making big houses. You gonna stay here? I have an issue and I have a problem. I think I'm addicted to building big houses. I keep telling myself I'm gonna build smaller houses and tiny houses, and then I don't. So this house has 5 bedrooms, and it has, man, how many bathrooms? 1, 2, 3, 4 bathrooms? Yeah, so this is big. And then it has an office, which could become a 6th bedroom. A little excessive. I don't know. I thought the office was a good call. Yeah, I'm going to say it. Maybe next week I'll do a smaller build, but I don't count on it. So I hope you like bigger builds. I don't know. I try to do a variety. This one just turned out bigger because I wanted it to have 2 stories. And then with the mansard roof that opens up even more space on the upper level, you have even more space, which architecturally is really awesome. So with the size of this build, I did leave out a decent amount of the bathroom. So the bathroom on the lower floor is just a half bath. Not anything too exciting, so I figured you wouldn't need to see that. I have a Jack and Jill style bathroom that is right through this door in this bedroom. And so it's connected, well, it's in between 2 bedrooms and then they share it. I left that one out, and then I left one in on the upper floor just because it was a light and bright. I'm like, why not? I don't think it took super long to do that bathroom, so I just figured I would leave that one in so you could see at least one bathroom, but I don't know. The bathrooms do tend to be pretty similar. Also, the bedroom opposite of this one is pretty much the same as this, so I didn't include that. I just figured it was very repetitive. This would actually work well for 2 twin girls, or I just figured 2 sisters. Twins would be really cute just because they have their own bedrooms, but yeah, like same bed and same dresser, and I was kind of going back a lot and using the eyedropper tool and getting kind of the same stuff. So you're not missing out on anything. This one I left in. This is a toddler's bedroom, and I finally did like a space theme. I've been wanting to do this for a while. The space stuff in this game is so cute, although I wish we had some wallpapers that went with this. We don't have space theme wallpapers. It's so sad. But even if we did, I don't know that I would have used it in this bedroom, just because I was trying to keep this house looking like it hasn't been touched a whole lot since it was built, so I wanted to leave in like all that nice wood and kind of have that older feel to it. As you can see in the other girl's bedroom there, with those I used some wallpaper, and I don't know, I just trying to make it look a little bit older and not like it's been touched a whole lot, just a little bit. And this is the upper level bedroom, so on the 3rd level. I was thinking, so either I did this for like a teenage boy, but you could have grandparents living here possibly. You could change it out. But yeah, I went for like, okay, I'm gonna do darker in this room since I was going light and bright everywhere else, and it's like, yeah, we might have the moody teenager that's in here, so I went with the dark colors for this one. Oh, so it's been a couple weeks since my husband and I went camping, and I said I would probably update you guys on how the camping trip went. So yeah, a couple weeks ago, it was pretty cold. Nighttime temperatures were mid 30s about. The daytime temperatures were low 50s, and it was really windy, so it was not the greatest temperature wise, unfortunately. We had one night where there was loud, obnoxious partiers. Again, I cannot escape these people. I feel like this was the worst one. They were up until like 3 in the morning making really loud noises, and yeah, I think they win for most obnoxious people at a campsite. Why are you up till 3 in the morning? I thankfully think I was really tired. Somehow I was able to sleep through that. I don't know. They were off a little bit further, so that helped. But there was also really loud trains, which was disappointing. I don't know why you put a state campground by really loud train tracks. That was obnoxious. And then we realized later we were close to an airport, and one of the nights it sounded like a helicopter was flying over insanely low. It was so loud. So the friends were actually wondering if it was like a search mission, like they're looking for someone that escaped out of jail, because like, why are you flying that low? Oh yeah, and there was a really bright spotlight on the thing. Like I could see it through the tent. It was crazy. I mean, it could have just been lights for landing, although my brother will correct me later. My he was a pilot in the past, so he'll tell me, he'll be like, they don't have that, or maybe that is what it is. I don't know, but it was a really bright light, so that was obnoxious. And then somehow my husband like sleeps through it. How? It was so loud. It must be nice to be a somewhat heavier sleeper. I'm a late sleeper, so everything wakes me up, except somehow I slept through that loud, obnoxious people noise. I don't know. It was fun though. We did some hiking. We ended up the last day, we did a 10-mile bike ride. That was really nice. And that was the nicest day. So it was a little bit warmer and I kind of dressed a little bit too warm. I had a bunch of long underwear on that I had to later take off. We made like a little pit stop and there was like off this trail a little porta potty, which wasn't great, but I used that to just kind of change out my clothes so I wasn't burning up. But yeah, I was much happier with it being warmer and less windy, so it was a good way to end the trip. It was nice, but I am now done camping for the rest of the year. I'm waiting until spring. I'm done being cold. So we are making our way towards the end of this video. So if you haven't already, don't forget to like and subscribe. This build will be up on the gallery and all my information for that and social media will be in the description. So I'm just gonna let you finish enjoying this upper level and then we're gonna move outside for the landscaping. So sit back, relax, enjoy the music, and we will see you next week. Bye!
Don't wanna wake up if I'm dreaming, because you know I can't get enough of this feeling you're giving me. Don't wanna wake up, no, I don't wanna wake up. I don't wanna wake up without you, baby, without. I wouldn't know what to, baby, without you. Sometimes I forget to breathe. I'm looking in your eyes, wish you could see the things I see. I don't wanna wake up if I'm dreaming, because you know I can't get enough of this feeling you're giving me. Don't wanna wake up, I don't wanna wake up. Don't wanna wake up without you, baby, without. I wouldn't know what to, baby, without you. I wouldn't know what to, oh you know, oh you know, oh you know. I wouldn't know what to do. I wouldn't know what to do. Around your finger, tell me what you wanna do. I think we're part of something bigger, and now my mind is filled with you. Oh you know, 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 baby, without.